What do you miss most about your hometown in the UK? How long has it been since you left your country and then stay in Korea?
10 years. Family is a given, right? That goes without saying. A lot of them still live in our hometown. What do I miss? Not much, I have to be honest.
What I would think was food or drink.
Food is a good shout. There's a lot of variety in the cuisines that are common in British towns. And we have a lot of British Indian people and people from all over different places. British style curry, I miss it a lot. British style Chinese takeout, I miss it a lot.
So when you talk about British style curry, is it also based on Indian curry?
Right. After many generations of living in the UK and selling to a British market, there are adaptations that occur that make it more palatable for British people, more appealing. Certain dishes you would never find in other places. It's sort of the Britishization of the same happens here, right?
Yeah, that's great. But I'm really happy that you brought that up. I mean, British style curry. Because the weird thing was that when I was traveling around the UK, I met a friend there, my Korean friend, and then he suggested that we should go to a Indian curry restaurant because he said that UK is famous for curry.
It really is. It's been adopted heavily and it's a part of the British food culture now. And it's all because there's many generations now of British Indian families and things.
How about fish and chips?
I'm not a big fish and chip fan, to be honest. I do miss it, but on occasion. But half the time when I would go for fish and chips, I would actually not order fish. I would order a battered sausage or something. I'm not a huge fish eater. The reason that it's hard without it here is not the fish problem. In many British style pubs and restaurants in Seoul, you can get fish and chips. The problem is the chips.
I didn't really know chips mean fried potatoes until I have fish and chips in the UK. I didn't expect fried potatoes there, but I enjoy that.
When I was 13, I went to America. I had an American friend. He lived in England. His family moved back. I went to visit them and I have a really, really traumatic memory of being with his entire family, extended family, 20 Americans in a McDonald's, and the parents shouting over, what do I want? And I replied, anything is good, maybe just Big Mac and chips, and everyone stopping. First confusion and then laughter, because to them, chips are sort of convenience store snack. Yeah. And so they all laughed and they were cracking on, who eats, chips with their burger? And then it took a moment for me to realize, fries, not chips. Culture difference.
Then if I went to a McDonald's in the UK and if I wanted to order French fries, then what would I say?
It's been so long, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm guessing you would just say with chips. McDonald's has an identity. It's very possible that they would list it as French fries.
But you wouldn't find it weird if the menu said chips?
No, not at all. Maybe there is a difference. Fries are thin, skinny fried potato, and British style chips tend to be thicker, you get in a pub.
Yeah, I wouldn't make any distinction. What is the noun? Distinction between thick fries and thin fries.
Right.
We once bought an ice cream at a McDonald's. The weather was crazy. So we just wanted to, one of the weird things that I couldn't really wrap my head around was that although the weather was really scorching hot when I visited the UK, still I could barely find any restaurant or building that had air conditioners. Even in my hotel rooms.
There was exist. Yeah, you're right.
Do you know why? I learned it from my friends.
No, why? Tell me.
I'm not sure if this is a reliable source or not, but my friend said that the UK government banned people from installing air conditioners for the aesthetic purpose. Because in order to have air conditioners, you need to install the big, ugly box outside of your buildings. I don't know. It's like a ventilator or something.
Right.
So the UK banned those kind of things from being installed for aesthetic purpose. Is that plausible?
Yeah, for sure. I can totally understand that because, they are unsightly.
What does that even mean?
Unsightly.
Unsightly.
It's another word, a synonym for ugly. So they're unpleasant to look at. They're ugly. They are unsightly. I do agree that, when you look at a building and it has those big boxes on the back, not great to look at.
There were many attractive points that made me think I wish I'd live here. But the moment I thought about the air conditioner, I gave up on that idea because no matter how beautiful the London city looked, if I had to put up with this hot and scorching weather without air conditioning, I wouldn't survive, sorry.
I'm sure they're becoming more popular. People probably are now having them installed. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
But wouldn't you find it, inconvenient surviving through the hot weather in the summer without air conditioning?
Very much.
UK?
In the past, it wasn't much of a problem because our summers were relatively mild, but it's getting hotter and hotter every year. New record highs during the summertime. You're right, things are changing, I'm sure you'll see more and more buildings that will have aircon.
You've already spent long enough time to, adapt yourself to living in Korea. What is that has been still hard to get used to living in Korea? The things that you find inconvenient or uncomfortable.
Let me think. There are many of them, I'm sure, but they're not serious things. For the most part, I really love living here, and any trade-offs are worth it.
I like the phrase trade-offs.
Right.
Trade-offs.
You always have to make trade-offs, right? When you
Yes.
make a choice like that, like where to live. Inconvenient things. It's getting better than it used to be, but in the early days, internet banking was the worst thing.
Internet banking?
Yeah, in Korea.
It's exactly the opposite from what I thought. Because apparently people say that Korea have the best IT, including banking system.
No, you guys use very antiquated software like ActiveX, and for the longest time, I couldn't use a Mac to do my online banking. It had to be a Windows machine. Banking adjusted pretty quickly, I guess. More maybe the government websites would be a better example.
What
Immigration, you have to download like 3 or 4 different pieces of software.
Yeah.
I don't want this kind of thing
How
on my
to protect
computer.
your money
It's
and
nonsense.
for security.
To me, they seem like they're vulnerable. They're kind of like outdated, and it's just strange. We don't use them in the UK, and we don't have a big banking problem with like security. So as far as I know,
You enlighten me because I just assume that every country does have the same process that is complicated and strict and go through the many processes to get your money out or get your money in for the sake of your privacy and money.
right? What else? I can't use PayPal here. That's frustrating. I haven't looked into it for a long time, so things might be different now. But there are restrictions on personal use of PayPal.
Yeah, even for me, I'm not really familiar with PayPal. I've never used PayPal at all.
Right, because they're not available.
Yeah.
And there have been times where because I watch a lot of English language YouTube and stuff, I follow a lot of those products that are popular back home.
Okay.
American products, British products. You cannot import them into Korea very easily. Costs a lot of money. They don't sell them here directly. And so
Could you give me one example?
there are 2 main examples. One, I'm really happy now. In hindsight, it was a great thing for me. And it was a Sonos speaker.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Sonos before?
No.
They have a whole ecosystem where you can link many speakers and wireless speakers. And well, for the last year, they've had a bit of a major issue with the company. And so it's not a big deal. But before, I really wanted one.
Okay.
And I couldn't get it imported. And more recently, there's a Spanish product, a Spanish company called Ascaso.
Okay.
They make coffee machines, espresso machines.
Honestly, it sounds like a snail. I mean, the French food, the French dish.
Escargot,
Yes.
yeah. Sure.
Okay, anyway, what was that?
Ascaso.
Yeah, espresso coffee machine. Okay.
Here, you can buy them on Naver Marketplace now, but they're imported from abroad. They're very expensive to buy. You'd have all kinds of issues with electricity and things like that.
And you have to wait for such a long time to get
Exactly
that, right?
These kind of things where there are either it's simply a location thing, we're so far away, other side of the world, that companies don't export to Korea, or it's like government-led restriction on some kind of product or something. That can be a little bit of a pain.
Now, on the flip side, the next question. What do you find so convenient about living in Korea?
Oh my gosh, we don't have enough time. There's so much. You've experienced firsthand now the British public transportation system.
Yes, tube.
Was it as good as the Korean subway system?
If I had to ride a tube every single day to commute, it would be horrible for me, honestly speaking, because mostly for the AC problem was so hot. The tube in the UK, in my opinion, was not even comparable to the subways in Korea, honestly.
I don't know how old it is, but it's in the 1800s is when it was first London Underground.
And I was told that the UK tube, I mean the stations underground, was used for a bunker during the World War II. Was it true?
Sure. But yeah, 1800s.
Yes.
So hasn't changed much since then, right?
For the things that have been built in 1860 something, the quality of the tubes were still great.
I'm sure they have updated it at some point along the way, but it's hard to do a mass rebuild or something because you cannot shut down a system that's so as big as that. London relies on it every day. So making big changes is almost impossible.
Speaking of the tube in the UK, what I found a little bit intimidating was in every gate, there was at least one officer. They looked like a ticket checkers, but that felt kind of intimidating. They were kind of monitoring who just moved past the gate without paying their tickets.
Sure.
So was that their job actually, or that was my impression?
Possibly. I don't know if they were transportation police or not. I'd have to see. It's very likely that they were checking tickets because, maybe there's a problem with people avoiding fares. Also, what else? Access to Wi-Fi. Again, maybe you noticed it on the tube. There'll be some lines where the internet does not work on your phone.
I had not used my cell phone in UK at all. Just switch off my working mode and then just enjoy traveling.
That's really good.
Yeah.
But did you not rely on your phone to get around, maps and
No,
things?
my wife took care of all of them. And I didn't really hear my wife complaining about Wi-Fi. If the Wi-Fi had been really bad, then definitely my wife would have complained about that, but that didn't happen.
Did you notice more people reading books or newspapers on the subway?
Yeah. But I assume that
Phones
they like to read.
No, it's because there's no Wi-Fi.
Really?
Yeah.
That kind of, I don't know, gave me inspiration. Wherever I go, in particular in subway, in a restaurant, in a bar, I found a lot of people reading a lot of books.
Sure.
I mean, they look smart, intelligent. I talked to my wife saying that we should adopt that kind of culture. We should read more.
People would riot though if you turned the Wi-Fi off on the subway. No one could handle it.
But for whatever reason, reading a lot of books, I mean, after all, it's a good thing.
Sure. I agree with you. Switching off is important, right?
Okay. I learned the real, background from you. This is another hilarious memory that I came across traveling around the UK. How come people in the UK stand while drinking? You must know what I'm saying, right? Every time my wife and I walk down the street, we found a bunch of people standing while drinking just outside the bars.
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
I think maybe more people can stand in a bar than sit, right? So if a bar fills their space with seating, they limit capacity a lot more. So it could simply be a business decision. More people standing, more drinks sold, simple thing. Bottom line goes up. That would be my biggest guess. It doesn't matter, bar, club, things like that. Usually when you first go there, everyone stood in a circle, stood around talking. Smokers, when they go outside to smoke, all stood.
There was a certain vibe that people were giving off standing while drinking. They look all vibrant, energetic, because they literally didn't sit on the tables, rather they were standing, drinking, talking, smoking, all at the same time.
Sure.
What we found really strange was that they stand so close together. At first, I thought that they were in groups. They knew each other. But then I asked one of them, and it turned out they didn't know each other. Then they just asked that this is the way they stand while they're drinking. So, okay. I got it.
It's just become a cultural norm. And I'm guessing it came from bar design and then moved into just being the standard, and we expect it. But don't get me wrong, we like to sit down and drink too. That's also nice.
This is the most hilarious thing that we've come across in the UK. In the island as well, they do the exactly same. They never sit, they just love to stand. I've asked this same question to you the other day, but just let me go over it again. What job do most British people aspire to have, if there is?
It's a good question. I'm guessing it's all the traditional jobs.
Before you give me an answer, does football also count in this category in any way?
I didn't think football player. That's not where my mind went to, but you're right. Every British boy at some point, or the vast majority of British boys, would probably dream to be a professional football player. You're right. It's a good shout. I would say that you've probably hit the nail on the head.
Other than the boy's dream, what job would be the aspiration or dreamy job for
When I was growing up, it was medical doctor, lawyer, very standard. Like, it gives the impression of success and high social status and money, basically, good salary. But actually, the reality is, like doctors, especially the first part of their career, they don't actually make that special kind of money in the NHS. They maybe make a lot more at the end of their careers when they become consultant level, the highest levels. I'm guessing that these sort of jobs are less popular now. People probably aspire to go into things like marketing, social media creation, content creation rather. Maybe in a basic way, being a YouTuber.
Okay.
Something like that. It's the same here. Every kid wants to be a YouTuber.
I'm curious how hard kids or students have to study to become a medical doctor or a lawyer.
Really hard. Yeah,
really?
Really
So
hard. It's very
really, what do
competitive.
you mean by really hard?
Like, I'm not sure exactly, but the best medical schools for every place every year will have 1,000 applications or something like that. It's hugely competitive. You have to not only have a very, very strong academic record, but you also have to have an extensive array of extracurricular activities, volunteering and clubs and different things that you do. Probably you need to gain work experience as well, even as a young adult, and then you can become a doctor. It's very competitive.
Do people in the UK also worry about how they are seen to other people? Of course they do, but how much do they care about what other people think of them? For information in Korea, the reason I bring up this question is because I easily come across the comments on the internet that our people, Koreans, do excessively care about what other people think of us so that we don't really look into our inner self, stuff like that. My response is always like, it's not only us, but other people also care what other people think of that. We are social animals.
Sure. I agree with you. I think it is a universal characteristic of people, right? But I would say that if it's fairly common in the UK, it's on steroids here, you know, super like on another level.
Did you personally feel that?
Oh yeah, 100%. People talk about it much more openly. Maybe not openly, but to me, part of my style of teaching is very conversational, right? One-on-one like this. And I like to talk as much as I can about my students' life itself. Through that process, I learn a lot about my students, and that includes their insecurities and things like that. And there's a universal sort of experience of saying, especially as they were growing up, that pressure to look your best and succeed and project an image to other people that is, I don't know, socially acceptable.
I just wonder why we end up endlessly comparing ourselves to other people. You know, personally, I think I don't do that.
Sure.
Unconscious level at least. I don't care about how I look in terms of my appearance or my job or whatever. But I believe I used to do that when I was young. And I strongly believe that many people do compare, in particular because the effect of social media, because people are, bragging about their lifestyle and rich and wealthy.
Right.
When I was traveling around the UK, when I look at British people, they look like aliens to me. So they don't look like real people. They look like a kind of movie characters to me. I just kind of find myself fantasizing about them because when I see them, okay, they must be good people. They must not have like comparison mindset. But I know that's a trap. So I just came up with this question.
Sure. I think there will be some people that take it very seriously and do constantly compare themselves to each other. But like I have an anecdote from one of my students who got a new job working in a company and they took out a loan to buy a car that they could not afford simply because other people in the company were very judgmental of the car that they were driving. It wasn't the same, whatever, insert your luxury model here. It could be BMW or Mercedes. I can't remember exactly what it was they bought. But the truth is they were now under pressure to pay off this car that they shouldn't really have been buying.
Oh my gosh.
But that was the culture of their company.
That is not my story, but even just hearing about that story makes me feel stressful and sick. If I were them, I really would regret buying that car. Oh my. can't believe it. The one thing I really like about my job is because I work solo, I don't have other people that I would have probably compared myself to. Most of the time I work in a cafe, everybody is irrelevant. So I don't care about what clothes I have to wear today. Well, I don't have to care about what car I drive to my workplace. In that sense, I love my job.
It's a sense of freedom, right?
Yes. And honestly, I don't even bother to take a shower when I go to work.
I maybe would edit that out of the video. That's up to you if you want that to be public knowledge.
Okay.
I guess you do a remote job, right? So you don't have to deal with customers face to face.
No.
I'm happy to say that I do shower every time I meet a customer
Yeah.
before I meet a student. So they don't need to worry.
Okay, thank you for sincerely answering every stupid personal question. I appreciate that.